Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to today's Talking Points video. And oh, what a show. What a show. If I could have gone to one show this year, including WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, any show, I think it would have been this one. The only other shows I would have been interested in was maybe the SmackDown that AJ Lee returned on, because that was an amazing moment, and maybe the Raw in Birmingham, which is where my family's from. That's where I saw my first WWE live event, right? So outside of those, this is the show I would have gone to. Black and Gold NXT meant so much to me back in the day. I remember when they came over to the UK, I actually went and saw them a couple of times. Saw them in Bournemouth, saw the likes of Balor and Nakamura and Peyton Royce and Asuka, Samoa Joe, like all these amazing talents. And it's so great to be back in Full Sail. And it was such an amazing show overall, with lots of nostalgia and a lovely mix, obviously, of like current stars, current stories. Some big announcements were made as well. That announcement about next week, title versus title. Like, where the hell did that come from? And we've got this kind of situation where all throughout the show, TNA talent were tweeting how upset they were about what was going on, right? So you've got this kind of really interesting kind of TNA sub-story of their roster seemingly teasing an invasion or teasing that they're upset, and I don't know, what are you going to do about it, right? We can look at some of those tweets during this video. So let's get into it. So WWE Shop before NXT tweeted this out and just showed that they've now put up a lot of the OG original shirts for lots of different superstars that came through NXT. So like Balor's original shirt, Charlotte Flair's original shirt, Bianca, Rhea. So really, really good. So wrestling fans since day one, thank you. We also started with Roar of the Crowds. That is the original NXT theme, which was a brilliant way to like open up the show. There's Triple H outside Full Sail. Let's see what he had to say.
My name is Pink and I'm glad to meet you.
We got some Pink Pantherus. Yes! Oh my God! Now, I didn't know that I never watched this. Oh my God! I love Pink Pantherus and I love this track as well. So good. Look at that. Shawn Michaels, Triple H. Oh my God, this video's already goated. Triple H opens up the show, of course, comes walking out to the ring. And it was pointed out in our chat that it felt like less people were around. I'm not sure that's true of this side. It never like went all the way up here. There might have been a couple of extra rows, maybe. I could believe that there was normally a few more rows, but actually there was next to no one on this side. Felt like a lot of people were missing on this side. And the staging went right up to the ring. Never used to do that. Used to have a ramp. And this is way bigger than what we used to have. We didn't have these bits and everything. I mean, like, what we used to have was a stage and a screen along the back, and the talent would emerge from this side, and they would, like, walk across the stage and then walk down the ramp. All of this is, like, clearly an upgrade since the pandemic. So yeah, big staging, and I think maybe a slightly different configuration as a result, but it still had that Full Sail feel. I cannot tell you how good it feels to come home, says Triple H. Then Shawn came out. Triple H said, "You're doing a great job with NXT, but what if I told you I want to come back?" Now, I don't think a single one of us believed that he wanted to come back. There was a real great moment as well where Triple H was trying to remember what to call the video screen. He's like, you know, as I came walking through the video screen, right? And just that little hesitation Shawn Michaels came out and he was like, well, I was just back there behind the, what's it called again? Hunter? What's that thing? And he just gave him a little rib. Yeah, it was a lovely little moment there. But anyway, he came out and said, what if I told you I want to come back? That brought out William Regal, who said there's only one way to sort this. War Games! And there was quite a few people in our chat going, I don't get this. And that's because when War Games kind of returned, it was William Regal that announced it. And that became a bit of a meme. Like when he did the War Games, like everyone was like, ah, and like they were really pumped. And it became a bit of a thing. And so it was just a reference to that. We weren't really doing War Games, right? It was just a little reference to that. But of course, we were not doing that. Out came Alexa and Charlotte. And they basically said the women were the backbone of NXT. And actually, everyone kind of got on the same page again in agreement that the women had been the backbone of NXT. And basically, we just moved into this match. So it was just a little fun little moment, a way of getting Shawn and Triple H and William Regal, bringing out Alexa, bringing out Charlotte. This, of course, would lead us to our first match, which would be for the Women's Tag Team Championships. So backstage, we saw Lyra and Tatum just have a brief reunion. Tyra is alive and well. Bayley says magical. That was Bayley reacting to the opening of NXT. Charlotte trolling Shawn Spears with a 10. Now, I missed this. 10, yes. Of course, Shawn Spears was known as Ty Dillinger originally, and he would have the 10 gimmick coming out at number 10 in the Rumble, of course. And there's Charlotte doing the 10 in Shawn Spears' face, which is really good. But it would be a win for Alexa and Charlotte. They would retain those championships. And so, yeah, first match really well received. We found out as well the dark match before we actually went live was Thea Hail against Kendal Grey. They really like Kendal Grey. She's getting a lot of dark matches. So, yeah, I mean, not long until she's properly called up to NXT. She's being used all the time in dark matches, but we do still see quite a bit of her in Evolve. Mustafa Ali was the first one I saw saying like something about Homecoming in a negative sense. He said NXT celebrates its past, but disrespects TNA's future. Many will talk about it, but only a few will do something about it. Consider this a warning, Shawn Michaels. NXT Homecoming. And that got attention. And that got people talking. And we did have people in our live stream wondering if an invasion was going to happen. Was TNA going to invade during the show? Oh, look at this. Shayna interrupts backstage as Zaruka were arguing. And Shayna was basically saying, like, don't let this rip you apart, right? And she was trying to get those two back on the same page. Candice interrupted and basically said, keep that speed title shiny for me. So, oh man, I hope this isn't just a one-off, but I think it probably is. We did see people popping in all night from NXT's past, but obviously Shayna's really interesting because she's no longer with WWE. I know that she did help out at the Performance Center a few weeks ago, but my understanding from an interview she did was that that was just like her helping out. She's not actually under any kind of a contract. So, yeah, we'll have to obviously see if anything comes of this, but I don't think it will. Then we got Rebel Heart and No One Will Survive, the OG themes of Tommaso and Johnny as we went to our second match. This was Trick Mello against Johnny and Tommaso. Tommaso with this kind of like Goldie face paint. I couldn't tell if that was maybe a reference to Goldie because that's what he used to call the NXT Championship. Johnny as well, their vintage DIY, patting themselves on the back as we went to commercial break. The Miz would get involved. Of course, The Miz is in a bit of a tag team with Carmelo, so he was here to help Carmelo. So a skull-crushing finale to Johnny. That meant that Trick Mello pick up the win, but really Miz was helping Mello. Mello don't Miz, right? So there we go. They pick up the victory, and that was the end of match number 2. Then we had Josh Briggs kind of stepping up to Sami Zayn backstage. Sami said that there was someone that he really sees himself in, calls out Javon Evans. Josh Briggs comes in to have a bit of a go at Sami. That's when Javon comes in, nails Josh Briggs, and Sami basically gives him a big speech like, I believe in you, you can do it, I see a lot of myself in you. It was a bit of a rah-rah speech. I did wonder if Sami was going to put that United States title on the line. Sadly, he didn't. I thought that would be really fun for, like, No Mercy. Javon Evans versus Sami Zayn. But, yeah, they didn't. Sami wants to face Javon. Book it, you cowards, says the Boulder. Then we got Prince Pretty, Tyler Breeze coming out. He was a favourite of mine going back like 10 years ago. So brilliant to see him again. Match number 3, him against Ethan Page. In the crowd was Wagner Jr. as well. Seems like we're still building something between Wagner Jr. and Ethan. AAA, of course. Bailey said Tyler Breeze is just so damn good. And Johnny said this rebel heart. Here's Eric Young, NXT. Don't think for a second that the cleanse is only happening at TNA. I ran that company once. I brought a level of chaos and violence rarely seen. I'll be watching. Trick Williams, you have what I need, and you have been warned. So Ethan Page managed to retain the North American Championship, but really fun match between these two. Maybe the weakest match up to this point, but if it was, I don't think it was by much. I actually thought Tyler Breeze looked like he still had it. I thought Tyler Breeze put in a fantastic performance here, considering the inactivity, right? Backstage, we had Damian Priest speaking to Tavion, basically doing what Sami did earlier with Javon, kind of bigging him up, giving him the rah-rah speech. But he also said that at No Mercy, he's going to get a shot at the North American title. That, of course, is Ethan Page's North American title. So there we go. Another no Mercy match has been announced. That's not this weekend. It's the weekend after. So, and he also mentioned about winning that North American title and then having the greatest celebration of all time. Here's Hang'em High just showing us that celebration, right? I actually don't remember Triple H being a part of this, so I don't know why Triple H is in this image, because I don't remember Triple H being a part of it, but maybe he was. So there we go. That was a fun little backstage moment. Then we had our Grayson Waller effect. We were kind of a bit pushed for time because we'd done so much and we were running out of time a little bit here. But we had the Grayson Waller effect. I thought this was a great moment from Ricky. I thought he got really fired up. This is the Ricky Saints we needed, says Body Slam. Grayson Waller calls Ricky Saints the Timu Labubu Grayson Waller. So there we go. The Timu Labubu version of Grayson Waller. Very, very good. But a massive announcement was made. I mean, really, considering everything on the show, this might have been the biggest announcement, the biggest moment. They're going to do a match next week. NXT champ against TNA champ. Title versus title. Winner takes all. And we're not doing it at No Mercy. We're doing it next week on NXT. Someone is going to leave with that NXT title and TNA world title as well. So Trick Williams, the current TNA champ, taking on Oba Femi, the current NXT champ. Winner takes all next week. Huge announcement. Here's Ethan Page. He said, well, that was a breeze. So Ethan just mocking the fact he got that victory earlier. Yeah, this was a shame. So they went backstage and showed Bobby Roode. No reaction. No crowd reaction. It was kind of really quiet. And then, of course, he puts his arms out and we get the glorious sound, right? But it did just feel like we botched this. It really felt like we needed that pop of the crowds in the background. It really felt like they were missing. So a lot of people saying they did him dirty here. Look, they muted the audience just so they could do that glorious moment. But yeah, this was an interesting segment because it seems like Charlie Dempsey's going away to Japan for a month, right? And that's when Ren mentioned Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry popped up. So when Joe Hendry popped up, that's when we actually had Joe Hendry and Bobby Roode just have a brief moment. Bobby did say, now that you're in NXT, I need you to go for that NXT championship. And so a few people in our chat was like, hang on, does that mean Joe's in NXT? But I don't think he means permanently. I just think he means you're showing up here a lot. So now that you're showing up here on a regular basis, I need you to go get that NXT title. He said, you filled me with so much pride seeing you coming down to the ring at WrestleMania with that TNA title. Like, I was so proud of you. I need you to go after that NXT title now. So that was interesting. Charlie going to Japan was interesting. So it was just like, whoa. So many talking points. Here's Bailey, right? She said, we used to write, what would Tyler Breeze do on our wrist tape for matches because he taught us all so much. So there you can see, is that Eva? And there's Bailey. What would Breeze do? What would Tyler do on their wrist tape? Just as a little reminder, maybe during the matches, just a little reminder because he had taught them so much. So, yeah, it's great, isn't it? Yeah, this was good as well. So Lexis was going off on Miles Bourne. They're in a feud at the moment, but also threw in that Black and Gold sucked. None of those old stars care about the fans. Of course, lights go out. Out comes Finn Balor. He wasn't as the demon, of course. But yeah, Balor comes out and he does like the old entrance and everything. It was so good. Gets in the corner. Look at the smile on his face. I think he really enjoyed this. Too sweet in a lot of people in the crowds. You know, the whole shebang, mate. The whole shebang. So, yeah, he hits a coup de grace on Lexis. After Miles had kind of laid him out. Miles Bourne got in the ring as well, laid out Lexis. Finn with the coup de grace. Just a fun segment. I believe these guys are having a match. I don't know if it's next week or at No Mercy, but they've got a match coming up soon. No surprise because they're in a feud anyway. Oba Trick, winner takes all next week. Lainey Reed, Candice LeRae, number one contenders match for the Speed Championship next week. So again, I don't know if that's next week or at No Mercy, but they had a match announced as well coming up very soon. Right, final folder. Here's Finn. Let's have a little look at this, shall we? There he is, big smile on his face. Posing away with Miles Bourne. You can tell Finn Balor has been wanting to be a good guy for a long time. So, yeah, so good to have him back, man. Obviously just for tonight, but Kathy Kelly said, I miss you, NXT. Then it was time for our main event, right? So Bianca Belair was shown in the crowds, and it was a real shame that's all we had for her. I don't know if we had some more planned, but we were just out of time. But yeah, she was in like leopard print. Backstage, Montez was in leopard print. So Montez approaches Dark State backstage talking about the NXT Tag Team Championships and the history of having those belts. He said Dark State's unity and brotherhood are to be praised. I wish I knew what that was like. Montez on his own. No sign of Dawkins. Right. Matt Cardona said, I can't be the only one who is sick of Trick Williams and his reign as the TNA World Champion. I'm also sick of how NXT treats TNA. Should I drive over to Full Sail? I'm only about 30 minutes away. Trick Williams is like, so. Killer Kelly said, and now the TNA World Heavyweight Championship is up for grabs between two NXT people. I thought this was a partnership, not some BS. And Ava was just praising Finn Balor. She said, my favourite to ever come out of NXT. And Lexis King was like, thanks for the match, boss. So there we go. Eddie Edwards said, funny how NXT thinks they can just offer up our championship in a title versus title match, acting like TNA has got no say in the matter. Truth is, we've let this type of stuff happen for too long. It's time for a change. Trust the system. I mean, that was all throughout the show tonight. So you can easily understand why people thought there was going to be an invasion, yeah? Here's Rhea, powerbomb to the outside. So it was Fatal Influence against Lyra, Rhea, and Stephanie. This was our main event. I think Rhea had like a Damian Priest shirt tucked in. And she was wearing not black gear, but this kind of like purple gear. So there we go. It's a hell of a spot, that, isn't it? Hell of a spot. We also got the double Devil's Kiss. So, and of course, the end result would be that Rhea, Stephanie, Lyra would get the victory, right? But then it finished with this. So we went backstage and we had Oba and Trick face to face. Roman Reigns SCN said TNA definitely invading next week, next Tuesday. So they kind of ended up this show by really promoting next week, which I didn't think was bad. You know, I think they know that people are going to tune in this week because of the nostalgia, and they're trying to get you to care about next week. They want you to watch next week. And what a great way of trying to achieve that. So backstage, we had Ava, we had William Regal, we had both the GM, the former GM, kind of just watching, as this is going to be a massive clash, a big showdown. Here's Bayley. Now y'all idiots better start tearing down the ring, and girls, fold the damn curtains correctly. So look at this amazing throwback picture. This is Bayley when she was in NXT at Full Sail, and you can see the ring being taken down. You can see all the lights on in Full Sail. You can see like them kind of taking it all apart. I mean, obviously, this space needed to be used for other things. What they used to do is film NXT in advance and then just show it on the network. So it wasn't live. So, like, they filmed, like, blocks of episodes. And obviously, it's all live now. It's much different now. But what a brilliant, like, behind-the-scenes image to kind of share. Just great. Just really, really cool. So, there we go. That's Bayley. This picture probably from a good 10 years ago, comfortably. And here's Grayson Waller. He said, live look at the TNA roster being upset because I booked actual superstars in a title match next week. So Grayson Waller throwing shade at that TNA roster. So very good. Very, very good. Now, let's have a look, shall we, and just see if there's any other bits that have come through since we were recording. Yeah, Finn Balor said that felt good. That felt good. Crispy Wrestling saying, bring it back fully. We miss it. There's Nikki Cross, just remembering her sanity days. So that's obviously Full Sail related. Lola, yeah, she came out to ensure that JC Jane didn't run away during that main event. So, and then you can see some reviews that are out there. I just thought this was a lot of fun there. Look, someone mentioning Charlotte giving the 10. Yeah, really good. Great show. Hope you enjoyed it. So many talking points. But yeah, such a good show. Right, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.